All right, I'm in here.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Good, 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 good. So I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the platform. So you
Hmm.
already know there's John recording already.
Right. Right.
So I kind of always do my little intro and then we just gonna hop right in because I know you've been working. What was your shift?
I work 9 at night till 5:30 in the morning. Usually, if I got something to do, I'll stay up for it. You know what I mean? Like it ain't a
Yeah,
big deal. So
I appreciate that, man. And so I just want to invite everybody to another episode, knowing that I have a special guest. Because I say why? Because this is the first person I don't 100% know like that has been on my show. So couple achievements I'm knocking down, man. So
nice.
um but I appreciate you hopping on here with me and making some time. I know we've been talking about this for a couple months now. And I just wanted to kind of give a backstory of how I know this gentleman, and then we'll get into the reason why I asked you to, be part of my show today.
Of course.
So Mike is somebody I met through another um, phenomenal person, which is your cousin.
Yes. Yeah. It's my.
Okay. And I happened to be coming out of Target and picking up some juices because your cousin owns his own juicing business.
Yeah.
And you were copping some too, and it's just like we just kind of like clicked,
Yeah.
and then we started talking, and then it just went from there, man. Just like I'm like, now, all right, now I have another brother I know now, So I appreciate that, man, because it was like it wasn't weird. It was just normal,
Hmm.
off the bat. It just I felt like we were in tune to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. Never know what's going to come out of this, man.
Not at all, man. So um and we started talking because I know you have your own projects and stuff, that you do, and I took a look at yours, and you kind of incorporate into your podcast. You incorporated some stuff that I haven't even done yet, which like anime and all that, which kind of is what drew me into you because I'm a hardcore anime fan as well too.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up.
You know, so that was like, ooh, yay, yeah, somebody else I could, you know,
You can geek out with.
yeah, geek out with, and you being a black father and just someone you look at as like, yeah, this is a role model guy right here,
Right.
you know. So, um, but the reason why I asked you to come on today is because I just wanted to kind of get your wrap your head around you being a girl dad yourself,
Right. Right.
um, maybe some of the lessons that you grew up with that maybe that now as a parent you wish that maybe we're a little bit different so that it could help you be a different person than you are now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, um, I have an 8-year-old daughter. That's my buddy right there. Her name is Gabrielle. Um,
Shout out to Gabrielle.
yeah, yeah, my little 8-year-old. Um, it is amazing because I feel like me as a father, like the instant she was born, everything about me just changed. You know what I mean? Like everything. As much as I would love for me and her mother to work out and stuff like that. She does a great
Hmm.
job. Taking care of the child and making sure she's good on her end. And it's like as long as my daughter is happy, that's all that matters. But it's like that was my homie, that was my baby from the day she came out. Like that first week, just sitting there with her, and it's like you know one thing about this is we don't carry children, we're not the ones who go through everything, all the emotions and stuff like that. We only try our best to just be there and be as supportive as we possibly can. And through my daughter's mother's process of her pregnancy, she actually had a really good pregnancy. She didn't have no pain. She's pretty happy, like, and then it didn't really kick it into the end. But when my daughter when she came out, it was like for a mother, you have a nurturing care. It's always there. But as a father with a daughter, it's just something about that just it changes everything about you. Like it literally, a lot of men say it softens you up. Like, I wasn't never really like a hard person anyway, but it was like just that, just looking at her, just like I can't even put my finger on it how much it was nerve wracking and everything, and was exciting because of course as a man you wanted a boy, you was like, oh, I want my boy, and other girl came out, it was like I'm glad I didn't have a boy, like I'm glad I had this little thing that looked like me. It's like, yo, that looks just like me, like, or
but as a girl, right?
yeah, it was just like a
Hmm.
little lady, like, looks just like me. This little small thing just staring at me. Don't It recognizes my voice, but it don't know me personally. Like it's trying to get to know me. I'm trying to get to know her. And that first week, we were just sitting there together. I didn't know what to do. I would just touch her nose or do little small stuff. I didn't know what I was doing. I just felt like I was playing with a real life doll baby. That was just It just was nerve wracking the whole entire time. So it was like, uh. like from that point on, we was inseparable. Like,
Hmm.
I had a situation that happened at one of my old previous jobs, and it caused me to be out. But that was one of the best times of my life because I got to raise a little girl. Like I got to raise a little girl, like, and she built a personality somewhat around mine. That was my shadow. Everywhere I
Yeah.
went, I around, it was this little person following me or crawling too close to me and screaming at me and yelling at me, like just like the greatest thing. Like,
It's and to kind of piggyback on everything that you said, Mike, it's like, cause I have three sons,
okay,
and one is non-biological, is my stepson,
my
but
son.
my two sons were born. Yeah, I'm a dad now, but it's like
Hmm.
you're a guy too, so the structure, the the way that you wanted to be raised as a son. So you kind of already have what you want to do. But when my daughter was born, everything that you said, it brought back all those feelings that I felt when she was born, because it felt like I was a dad for the first time again.
Yeah.
And it, like you were saying, like it definitely changes your perception of life,
Hmm.
because then you start thinking that this is the the one that you know you if the mom, like you said, the mom doesn't work, and this is the person that's going to give you
Yeah.
unconditional. This is the person that's going to love you from the beginning, flaws and all, and not treat you any different way
Hmm.
because you are her
Right.
dad. So I had that, like, everything you were just saying to me is literally everything that I went through and felt as a father of a little girl. And I was able to take time off as well for like my mental health from my job. And that time I was able to have her when she woke up, have her during lunch, have her during dinner, shower her, lay
Hmm.
with her. Um, and just hearing her call me Papa or
Hmm.
Daddy or Dad, or the way she stares at you in your
Right.
eyes and is like, you
Right.
trust me. I feel like when we are in relationships and, situations happen, or, you know, um, things happen to draw us
Right.
apart, you know, the when you look at somebody in their eyes, like your partner is
Hmm.
different. It's not that same look that you used to get when y'all first got
Hmm.
together. So, but the girls, that look never changes, man. It never
Yeah.
does. It's just there, and I feel like that's the drive that makes you want to be a different man every single day. It's a weird feeling, man, but it's like, I applaud anybody who is a father of a daughter, because it's really
Hmm.
love, man. You
As,
know,
as I
and
will say this real quick, just adding to what you're saying is like, let's. I'm not even trying to gear off, but I want to make this while on
no, go ahead,
wax.
man.
When it comes to men and their children, when a man is in his daughter's life, let that man be in his daughter's life at all times. ain't to throw no digs at
Yes.
anybody. Let that man take care of that child. Let that man do what he got to do for that child, no matter the circumstances. You don't, it cannot be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You, as much as you want it to be, everything cannot be perfect. Daughters need their fathers. It don't matter about anybody else. You can have a grandfather, you can have uncles, you can have everything. When it comes to dad, and if that dad is a dad the way he's supposed to be a dad, let that man take care of that girl, because he's going to make sure that she's set for this world. Because women, y'all are powerful, y'all are everything. And a woman could teach a woman how to be a woman, but a man could teach a woman how to deal with life and how to go through life and how to be strong with life and how to, prosper in life a certain way. You know what I mean? Like it, I don't know everything, but I'm gonna give my child as much as I could possibly give her in the knowledge that I have. I'm gonna pass it on to her. I'm gonna make sure she understands what she needs to be doing with her life. And whatever, and there's no judgment, there's no nothing. You live your life and you become a queen, and you become the right queen. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't going to be no ghetto
Mm-hmm.
queen. This ain't going to be no disrespectful queen. This is going to be a queen. This is going to be a person that she commands the respect. She is the respect. You know what I mean? When she
Mm-hmm.
comes and when she goes and she does what she want to do, whether she working or she's owning something, when you look at her, you're not, this ain't gonna, when you see her eyes and you look at her eyes, it's almost like you looking into her father's eyes, because I'm gonna instill that into her. So you women, men take
Of
care of their
course.
children.
Yeah, and it's very important that especially for little girls, and I feel like it does them such a disservice,
Mm-hmm.
when you know like I used to get mad and upset with women, but then I started having to look at like how their parents were and how their dad relationship was with them, and then when I realized that, okay, I'm not going to be that had, because I see how.
I'd like to thank everyone who really took the time to listen to the first episode. As I move forward, I actually was able to get in touch with a lot of good people who are going to be able to help me edit some of these episodes, so I'll be able to get them out faster. With that said, if you ever felt like you wanted to have a voice, I feel like the Anchor app does a great job of allowing you to start your podcast, and it's very easy to use. So what you could do is, if you have an iPhone, you can go over to the Apple Store, or if you have an Android phone, you can go to the Play Store and download the Anchor app, or go to Anchor FM from your computer to get started.
I don't know what happened.
Shout out to internet. Maybe if when I decide to get a 5G phone, this might be a little bit different.
Always just like, because it's another thing, you can probably just edit it right into there. So things
Yeah,
happen.
listen, man, I got to the point where y'all just gonna listen to it at this point, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
So it's but I was saying to you, like, I don't know, like you were saying, like, it's really keen that we are 100% involved in these little girls' lives, because they everything that you said, plus they need to know what it is like to have another man love them
Yeah.
and love them correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not just settling for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's really important that, even like even when it comes to mothers and sons, like, yeah, it's our job to raise them to be kings, but it's, they need that to know what affection looks healthy from a woman,
Right.
so it's like yin and yang, man. It's like, you know peanut butter and jelly. It's just,
Exactly.
the world would be a lot better if all of us really took mental health seriously,
Mm-hmm.
and we were happy with non-toxic relationships, and just, get into the bottom of what your individual issues are and stop deflecting on other people,
Right. Got you. You're 100% right about that. It's like, um, a lot of the times women go through a lot of, a lot of pain, a lot of mental things, a lot of emotional things, a lot of everything, and it's like there isn't enough men in this world that's backing them on this, so they just go through
Mm-mm.
things, and they go through these things alone. And a lot of the times I feel like, for me personally, it builds a certain thing towards them. It builds a certain it's supposed a certain distrust from men. Like, they stop trusting us, they stop and I'm talking about black men, especially.
Yeah, definitely.
When you have a man that's actually paying you attention and is actually like, hey, I'm here, it's hard to believe that I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as easy, like, it's hard for that. I gotta, we gotta work twice as hard because the last person messed that up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna sit back and say, hey, you picked the wrong guy, you did this, you did that, because that wasn't what your intentions was. Your intentions was to be with somebody that you trusted, that to hold your heart. And they
Right.
do that. You know what I mean? So it's like, now when you got me Lottie Dollin coming along, like, hey, I want to date you only, and then it's like, I'm I'm now dating a person who has pain. I'm dating a person who dealt with some stuff, and it's like, you know, this is one of the biggest problems. And every time I date someone, or every time I never go and I build some type of hate or something. Oh man, she didn't want to talk to me, or this. I've been like, I've had women I've talked to where things just seem perfect, and the next thing you know, I just stopped talking to them out of nowhere. And it's like, I'm never going to be like, I'm just not that guy that's going to look at it and say, oh yeah, you just did me dirty or something. No, I'm good. Because at the end of the day, that was obviously you wasn't the right person, or you might need some time, or whatever the case is. Like, but I know what type of man I am, and eventually that woman is going to come along, and she's going to, that's going to be the right person for me. Yes, I'm basically saying I'm single. So, um,
And it is crazy because you're a very handsome man, so
right,
that's it. But also that comes with your age,
right,
and just like now that I'm getting older now, and the conversations I have with my friends are way
right,
different. And we're not talking about like, hey man, hey, did you go, that smash that girl, whatever the case may be. And
right,
like we're not talking having those conversations. It's like, oh well, I'm not talking to this girl anymore because, her mental isn't here. Um, and I always ask like, well, how is her how is her family life? How is her mental health?
yeah,
Did she ever talk to you about that?
right,
Has she ever said that she's getting seen a therapist? Because those aren't the questions we ask when we're in our teens or in our 20s, because our community doesn't, it's not, it's not at all like my parents could have been got their own help, and then say, hey, Julian, this is a good outlet for you to go and get help as well too. And then you know, maybe my relationships would have been a lot different than they are, definitely how they are now, you know what I
mhm.
mean? So,
And then listen, I, I hearing what you're saying as far as like your parents being there, and then the fact that they was even there to even tell you that, because they recognize, hey, you might need this or you might need that. People don't.
no,
Go ahead.
I was saying to you they didn't.
Oh,
I
they
was
did.
just saying
I
like,
apologize.
no, sir, you're fine.
Oh,
I was just saying like, if they went and got their own, mental help, and like my dad, his dad was shot and killed when he was like seven, 6 or 7,
right,
so he didn't know his dad.
right.
And, so it's like we always have this trauma in our community, and we're not going and seeking the help to make us better
Hmm.
parents, better partners,
Hmm.
better people in the community.
Right.
You know, it's just, it's just sad, man.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. I get what you were saying now. Now you're saying,
Hmm.
if they were that way, maybe they would have helped you out a long time ago, or helped you deal with some things a long time ago, because they could have been a lot stronger and stuff. And believe me, this is both sides of the fence with this. Love my mama to death, but she went through some things, and when you see it, what I mean, it's one thing. Like, you see her go through things, and like, the one thing I do know, that's a very strong woman to go with the things that she's gone through. And
No
the the
doubt.
the, the amount of fun and the amount of things that she's doing with her life now. Sometimes I used to get mad at, like, damn, she don't want to see us and all that. But then I understand, like, what, my mom having fun with her life. She's doing what she gotta do. So it was like, she raised kids at a very young age. So I definitely understand. I do wish sometimes that she, she's always explaining to us, listen, it was hard, raising young kids by herself, but listen, at the end of the day, I'm a single father raising a child too. I mean, I don't have four of you, I don't have 4 or 5 of them, but I ain't even saying one is enough because this is one of the easiest people I've ever had to deal with in my life. At the end of the day, she's her own individual, but like seeing what my mom had to go through and now seeing what I learned from it, I just didn't do the reverse. Most men and most women, they absorb so much of that energy from their childhood that they basically,
Mm-hmm.
when it's time for them to be an adult, they're, you know, it's so much going on with them. There's so much mental problems and everything like that. It's like it's crazy. They don't even know how to be. They don't even know how to do things basically they don't know how to, have a relationship with a woman or have a relationship with a man or sometimes even have a relationship with their kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's one of the biggest things, of course you dealt with as a kid, you get yelled at a lot. Things happen, you get your butt whipped, whatever the case was. Some people criticize me because I don't hit my daughter. I'm like, y'all don't understand. I don't hit her for a reason because I'm never going to project my pain or my anger onto her. That's never what I'm supposed to do. She has her own lessons to
Mm-hmm.
learn. When she does something wrong, I make her responsible for what she did wrong. I'm not threatening her. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doing none of that stuff because that does nothing but it keeps looping the same things over and over and over again. I'm when it comes to my line and where my line is going, the things I'm doing is I'm instilling her to do the same exact thing. I would take that phone away from her. I would take things away from her, take things away. People think, oh, that's not enough. No, it's enough because you know how to. If as long as you have your ferocity about you and you show them something, you give them something. I can base at my daughter a little bit, and then it just she tense up. Like it just is how you go about things. Like I said, when things happened as when we were younger, dealing with the moms and stuff like that, jumping on us and not helping us a certain way. And it's like I said, if moms and stuff is listening to this, no disrespect to y'all, mamas. We're just men talking about what we've experienced. Like as men getting older. But it's like I would never do certain things to my daughter. Like I said, I'm not hit my daughter. I'm not I'm not threatening my daughter. I'm never belittling my daughter. I'm not demeaning my daughter. I'm not doing anything because I'm raising a princess. I'm not going. She's not a queen yet. I stick to this. She's not a queen yet. I'm not putting my daughter higher than where she needs to be. She's going to
Right.
level up. She's a princess right now. She loves Roblox and ponies and unicorns and stuff like that. Queens don't love that stuff. Like that ain't their thing. Like she's a princess. I'm gonna let her be right where she's at and let her enjoy her life and have fun. And that's all I
Mm-hmm.
want from her. Like there's sometimes where she told me my mom yelled at me, did it, and I'd be like ready to snap out on her mom, but I can't do that. That's a mom. But at the end of the day, like I just know what I'm going to do for my daughter. And, I know when I see that smile on her face, it's because she knows daddy shows her unconditional love, regardless if it's a tad bit of discipline. Everything from me is a learning lesson for her because I'm not. Go ahead. I'm
And
sorry.
no, you're fine. I didn't mean
Oh,
to cut you off. And I was just saying, everything that you were saying is just amazing. Just your thought pattern, man, is like you were saying. It just sounds like when baby girl was born, you were instilled with these scriptures of how it you wanted your daughter to
mhm,
be in your the image, like and the key things I took away from what you just said was um just allowing a child to be who they are and not exposing them to too many things at such a young
mhm,
age is key to, I feel like, a successful
mhm,
development. I feel like when kids get too much, if it's like the Fortnite or anything like that, it becomes a distraction, and now you're trying to threaten them. Whereas though it's like it's not going to be productive.
mhm.
So
100%.
that's huge, man. That's huge. It's amazing because it's like when I find brothers like you, I'm like, wow, I wish I had these relationships when I first became a
Yeah.
parent. Um, Man, I would not have been like, walking in a dark room with the lights off. I always say that, but it's so true because it's like, when they get older or now we're starting to have conversations about, um, expectations and, just how you're supposed to be as a human
Right.
being. We're giving our kids the tools to be successful at such an early
Mm-hmm.
age, so they don't have the same roadblocks and struggles that we've had to grow up and then start to be, like I like you were saying earlier, um, you know, people grow, become a child, an adult early, and then when they get older, they want to become a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of my 20s I was like that because I grew up as an adult, and then I'm like, oh, well, I'm an adult now, so now I could be a child because I can do these things now.
Yep.
So it's huge, man. It's wow. It's amazing everything you said, because it's like the way my mind started
Mm-hmm.
shifting, especially after I got married and my daughter came. I was like,
Right.
okay, I might not be rich, but I'm gonna make sure that my mind is more
Yeah.
richer for my children. That's the least I could do for them and for my wife
Right.
too,
Right. And your wife is the coolest. Tell her I said what's up. She's cool as crap. Like I can see like the love that y'all have for each other. Y'all vibe very well. I
She holds me accountable, man. I've never had a woman hold me
mm-hmm.
accountable. Uh and I mean accountability is huge because it allows you to see um your actions, and without it being like a negative thing. And I feel like I had to learn that. I had to stop being so defensive and actually hear what this woman had to say to me, because she's a
Right.
mother,
Right.
and she has a
Mm-hmm.
daughter, and I seen what it has done to her. Like that was my first time being in a delivery room where I genuinely loved that person that was having my
Mm-hmm.
child. So for me, it was a different type of feeling, especially when I got to cut the
Mm-hmm.
cord and I got to really see this person, and her eyes opened up, and it was just me and her. It got quiet.
Right.
She was crying, but I couldn't hear that. It was like it was like we
Right.
bonded,
Right.
and it from there it was like, okay, regardless of where you're at, you are going to know that your dad loves you. I'm gonna be here
Right.
for you,
Right. Right.
you know. So, but yeah, like you were saying, like it every stage of my life has been a growth in some way. It
Right.
has to be.
Right.
But this stage of my life has been the biggest because I feel like I've had the biggest
Mm-hmm.
support. And I just had I'm with somebody who's actually willing to challenge
Mm-hmm.
me and not be afraid
Exactly.
to.
Exactly. I'm gonna tell you this now, and this is here on wax. You know, when it comes to marriages and when it comes to certain things, a lot of people that are already married, or a lot of people that's been married for a while, they'll say, hey, you don't know this, you don't know that, like you're gonna have tough times, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. And I feel like I've always heard the negative sides of things. I never
Mm-hmm.
hear what they love about each other, what this, what's that. And it's like, for you to actually go out and say, she challenges me, she does this, and even though that ain't the biggest thing in the world, the fact that you made that affirmation for her and you put it out there and say, listen, this woman challenges me. You know what I mean? Like most men back down from challenges. They back down from just a woman just having a good job. Like that's just point blank, yeah, having a better job than them. You said she just challenges you. She wants you to be better than what you were yesterday and what you were the day before that. Anytime you come in and you have a complaint about something, sometimes they'll listen, but the ones who do it best for you is the ones that's going to push you to say, hey, let's change that. Let's change the scenery of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the challenge right there. I'm sitting here as a man who knows a lot of things, but some people don't understand that because it's hard to get to them because of so much disappointment. I'm listening to beautiful things
Right.
being told to me right now from you. You know, You know, it's amazing. She has to understand this is that when you have a good man, nobody else matter. I don't give a damn if you Chris Brown pop locking down the steps and that's your favorite crush. He gonna keep pop locking his ass right by you. And no disrespect Chris Brown if you ever hear this, but he just going to keep on moving because
Hopefully
day
hears it.
that woman chose you, and that's exactly what she should be about. And is you, and she's doing it, and she's amazing for it. And bro, you're gonna have the benefits of it. I don't care about when things get tough. That's between y'all two. What?
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing with it. It's always going to be tough moments. It's
Right.
always going to be. And I've always been somebody who's ran from
Mm-hmm.
relationships. You know, that has when the tough get going, I'm
Mm-hmm.
out because I've learned that at a young age to run from certain
Right.
situations. And never look
Mm-hmm.
back. And I feel like a lot has gone into the reason why I pay child support,
Mm-hmm.
or the reason why, like, you know, my my son mom, one of my sons, like, I both my two sons are by two different
Okay.
women. And my oldest son, it's always gonna, I mean, any old relationship is gonna be a love-hate
Mm-hmm.
relationship. It's just comes with the
Mm-hmm.
territory. Um, but now that my oldest son's 13, he about to go into high school, our conversations are still like, we've come to the decision together, like, hey, we got to make sure our son becomes a successful
Right.
adult. Like, we have to give him every single tool. Now she's gun ho on him getting to high school. So that's what it is. My other son, me and his mom
Mm-hmm.
don't even talk. And it sucks, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Only thing I can do is make sure that I'm teaching him and breaking those habits that I see that his mom is instilling
Mm-hmm.
in him, and know that it's a different way to handle certain
Mm-hmm.
situations. And I can see, when I see the changes and I see him starting to hold himself
Mm-hmm.
accountable instead of deflecting the situation, I I know that the cogs are turning in his head, and he understands that this is the proper way to be a normal person of
Right.
society. You know, um, but I tell you this, Mike. If I did not get married, bro, and this is not even me trying to boost up my
Mm-hmm.
wife or anything like that, I would not be here, bro. I would not have this podcast. I would not have done therapy or doing therapy, and I would still be the old parent that I was, where I was yelling and
Mm-hmm.
I was angry and I
Mm-hmm.
was upset because certain things that I couldn't control were
Mm-hmm.
affecting my day-to-day energy, and I appreciate everything that you have
Yeah.
said so far, because it literally was like, wow, Julian, this is what you
Mm-hmm.
were. Everything you said as far as that energy you're putting on your kids and everything like that, that's major, man. It's now I see that the way I hold myself accountable different than I was, you know 13 years ago when I was first time
Yeah.
a parent. um it's like day and night, man. And I definitely see the change, and that's what makes me drive to be a better
Right.
person every single day.
Listen,
You know.
I think us as black men and as fathers, we already have a strike on against us by being period.
Mhm.
Society does not recognize black parents. We are fighting for a lot of small things that where most people was like, oh no, I know you're a black parent, but tell that to the majority. You know what I mean? Because the moment I'm not with a woman no more, I'm a deadbeat father. I'm a father.
Yeah.
I'm this father. I'm that kind of father. Just because me and the mother ain't together no more. So I'm gonna share something with you. And it's like I'm on a mission right now to uplift all black women, including my daughter's mother, who
Mm.
says she doesn't hate me, but that's not what it feels like. Like, yeah, I can tell you I don't hate you, but if you feel hate, you feel hate, and it's there. Like it's there because certain
It's energy,
I
man.
don't I
It's
don't need to
energy.
say much. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to say much. I'm on wax saying this right now. I am a every other weekend father. Yes, I am that father. Do I want to be that father? Hell no. What? Are you serious? I'm not having fun with this. I'm dead seriously not having fun with this. You would think because I'm a every other weekend father that I'm out just partying, having the greatest time of my life. I'll be playing my Xbox. I'll be sitting in the house. I'll be thinking about my kid. I'll be thinking about what next move I'm making. I'm thinking about everything that I need to do for me because at the end of the day, it's me versus the world. It ain't me featuring my everybody else. It's and then I'm worrying about my child at the end of the day. We're going to always stay on topic, so that's why I'm going to keep it around when it's talking about fathers. But every,
No, you don't. That's the thing about my joint, man. This is the space where
mm-hmm,
we are comfortable and we get to
right,
just talk
right,
because everything that you're saying
mm-hmm,
right now, I had to go to court, and I had to even though I was told that, you ain't shit, Julian, you a deadbeat, and you this and you that, and I in the beginning it would really put me down. It would really make me feel like I was less than what I
bro, you
was because I
understand?
didn't know any different,
You understand
so
it? uh,
yeah, and I had to
mm-hmm,
go to court. And even when I went to court for custody, because it got to a point where I didn't have a
mm-hmm,
custody agreement, because you don't want to go to in front of these
mm-hmm.
white people and look like the animals they already think that you are, and
Exactly.
but I had to swallow my pride and $100 to get a white piece of paper with black ink on it, so that if you wanted to play games where, oh, well, you're not going to be able to see him, now I'm going to have the boys at your door.
Mm,
It sucks that has to be like that,
right.
but that's why this system was put in place
Mm-hmm.
to already bring us down, because nobody want to go down there. Like, that's the worst place you can go to, probably second to hell.
Yeah.
So, but it sucks that we have to go, and we have, especially the good dads, because the bad dads, the deadbeats, they got the best lives. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the sun in the beach with the fucking margaritas, man.
Mm-hmm.
They live in their life. The ones that are in the trenches who are fighting to be black fathers are the ones that get tore down every single day by our own people,
Yep.
but also the system. So it's already harder for us to want to be motivated
Mm-hmm.
to be somebody other than what society is already telling us that we are.
Right. Right. And it's funny because you ever had that feeling where it's like some people do a lot more talking than listening and learning, and it's like when you have an opinion about somebody, when you have something of someone, you can never stray from that because your mind is so weak that you can't get away from that. Let me go ahead and keep digging at you. Like, let me go ahead and keep making you look like the bad father that you are. Like, I might change something, right? Or I might be going through something, right? And because you thought that this was the person that loved me at one point, that said that they loved me at one point, that they would be like, okay, you know what? Get yourself together. Do this, do that. Because wouldn't you have done that if we were good? Wouldn't you have
Right.
done that if we was good? You would have made sure I was good. But because we're on two different now you went from being the night, I mean, being the light, now you're the darkness. Now you're the person that will come to me and try to assassinate my character every single chance that you get. But you know why, and I'm explaining to you. I felt the same way you did when I was called a deadbeat father, right? I was called a deadbeat father because, let me see. And like I said, we could talk about this. So it's like I'm not gonna hold no punches with it because I'm glad that we're talking about this.
No, we need to talk
Yeah, we
about it.
definitely need to talk about this. So,
Mhm.
um, I was called a deadbeat father, which I still have all the emails that she sent me in text messages, um, because I didn't want to give her $108 for soccer practice, and I was like, my daughter don't want to play soccer. Well, I need you to give me this. You're going to play it. Like, just do what you want, what you say, because at the end of the day, that's control. That means you control it, what goes on. You control my life. Let me do something that you want me to do. Oh, pay for registration, pay for this, pay for that. Never, hey, look, can we get together, sit down, and let's talk about what's going on? It's just, no, bring me a dollar bill number or whatever number amount. Come bring it to me, and I'm supposed to do what's on this bill right here. So, me as a father, me as a person that used to deal with you, I know how you get down. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to just do that. You know what I mean? And I could be saying no because I'm like, yo, you can come to me with a little bit more respect. You can come to me with a little bit more something, show me some respect. But because at the time you have your ex-boyfriend sitting in your face, kind of telling you what to do, or whatever other friend and whatever other this person telling you what to do and how to go after me, like you didn't realize, this is the part that some women don't get. When you want to go after a man so hard that you want to go after, you forgot about your child in the process of doing that. You can never tell me
The,
that, oh, I'm doing this for the kid. How? If you're an active father, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you're great for that child calls you. They don't call mom all the time. Sometimes the dad is the better parent, point blank, period. That kid,
um,
that should have told you something right there. That little girl loves her father. I do. But that little tiny bit of jealousy that sits in your heart that you really don't like too much, now it's like, oh, I don't like you. Now my kid likes you more than he likes me. Oh, man, I'm really getting tired of this. Oh, you got a new girlfriend too? She cool and she cute and she this and that. Oh, man, you just doing it all. You just living your life. So now, I need to go ahead and let me hurt you real quick. Let me go ahead and put you in this situation where if you don't do something that I need you to, that you supposed to be doing for me now, I'm taking your life away from you. Like I don't think that, like, I'm gonna say it one more time. And I have a major problem with child support. I'm gonna just be honest with you. It just me and child support, just like, you can kick rocks whenever it's time for you to go. But the power that you have, let me go ahead and make you do something that I want you to do. I'm not speaking on bad fathers. The hell with them. I'm talking about us, the great men.
yeah,
Let me go ahead and I want to give you a chance to talk because I'm about to finish this little last part up. Let me go ahead and try to destroy your life, because at the end of the day, I don't care about you no more. The way I loved you, the way I loved you with so much passion, so much heart. I would do anything for you. It's the same way I'm about to hate you. I may hate you the same way I loved you. So now when you wanted to do everything for me, you're going to do everything for me to get everything taken away from me, because now you won. Oh, I did it. I did it. But guess who's sitting there just looking at you like, really?
your daughter, your
You
child.
really? This is what you're gonna do? You play on their innocence. And I've told her that, I said, one day, you gotta meet the devil. Like, I don't care. You can talk to your mothers, your sisters, anybody that want to cheer you on and throw those that shoot balloons in the air for you, pump all that stuff. I stay quiet. There's a reason why I have not assassinated you on social media. There's a reason why I have not gone after you a certain way. I could talk about certain things, but I won't do it in this podcast because I will embarrass you if you ever heard it. I would embarrass you. It just sometimes, sometimes as a black parent, as a black man, when I'm so happy that I know some of the women that I know. I know I know
Mm-hmm.
some of the women that I know, because they get it, they understand it. They sit back and they know that black men suffer in silence. They know these things. We go through mental problems because of stuff like this. But I'm going to stick with this same thing. The same way they love us is the same way they hate us. They hate us with passion and hate us with all types of whatever. They want us to go down, and it's from our own people.
Yep. It's definitely worse from our own people, and everything you saying, bro. Just man, it's crazy because it's like when I came up with this agenda that I wanted to do as far as this podcast, I knew that there was other men that were like me that have gone through the same struggles, strife,
Mm-hmm.
tribulations, achievements, accomplishments, um, heartbreak, sad, whatever the case may be. I know that there was other great men out here, and I'm so grateful to be able to call you my friend
Yeah.
now. And
Same here, bro. Same here.
yeah, yeah, and it brings a tear to my heart because everything that you just had said to me, I've been through,
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Right.
You think that when you see the other person leveling up, it's not just them leveling up. It's your child leveling up too.
Mm-hmm.
If you see that your child's father, okay, goes from a 2-bedroom apartment to a 3-bedroom house,
Right.
why are you even continuing the drama? It was about 2 Black Fridays
Mm-hmm.
ago, and my son got into a situation where I had to check him on
Right.
it. And at that time, he wasn't holding his own self
Right.
accountable. So if you call your child to come pick him up and you ask him what's wrong with him, and he tells you that I got in trouble for doing X, Y, and
Mm-hmm.
Z, instead of you holding your child accountable, you then go into I'm going to be his friend because it's easier to control him.
Right.
So now you want to come at his father. Now you want to cause a scene and then call the cops on me at my brand new house and tell them that I'm abusing my son. But that same day, I had to meet up with my landlord to sign the rest of my paperwork to move in. So if he came near to my house, the cops would have been there. He'd probably be like, "Oh no, y'all can't move in here." And now I'm homeless now, which I'm homeless now. If that was the case, luckily I wasn't there when the cops came. But guess what? That following when my regular time was to come pick his ass up, she didn't have no issues. If I was that such of a abusive father, why would you still give him to me? You get what I'm saying? So it's like, why are we still playing these games? Why? And there's only one side that we playing these games because my life, I already have 3 million things I have to worry about. Why are you still stuck on what it is right now? It's not like, you know what I mean? Like it's weird. It's just weird that these people aren't going out and seeking help, man. They're not going out seeking a therapist. They're not working on their mental health.
Right.
They're not doing anything to better themselves. It's literally you have to remind yourself every single day why you're upset at this person, why you're angry at this person. You have to remember that energy.
Right.
And you said you knew so many great women that I'm pretty sure a lot of those great women are single mothers that have deadbeat fathers.
Yeah.
For their children. And I know lots of great women that be like, "Yo, Julian, this sucks that you're going through this. But guess what? I'm going through it as well too." But the difference is, and I'll cut it off here. The difference is that they're not going down there to child support and taking the fathers down there, even though that they have every single right, because I feel like that's the right time to use that power when the other party is not helping out or being active parents. Right. They only thing they told me was, Julian, at the end of the day, just like you said, they gotta meet the devil. They gotta meet that mirror, which is their child, where their child tells them that I don't want you to be in my life because you have never been the parent that I needed you to be. And that right there is where it's going to be the hardest pill. I never wanted to have that type of conversation with my children. Never. I never want to have that. And if they want to say it to me now, I tell them, hey, this is either your mom's reflection of me that she has of me on you,
right,
or tell me why you feel that way. And if you can't tell me why you feel that way, then we don't even bring it to me, because now you're taking what somebody else thinks of me and putting it in your head. I've never been that father for you.
That's deep, bro. That's deep.
And it's one of those things where I had to learn, and I had to listen, like, and I really look at strong women, man. Like my stepson, his father, he's in jail. He's doing a life sentence because the system failed him. I look at that brother, and we have a normal relationship. that two men should
Right.
have. If he has a question about his son, I have every obligation to be respectful and give that attention to him, especially if he's being respectful to
Right.
me. But I've seen this man do more for his son behind bars than I see that men that are living on the street. So that's another reason why I get up and go do what I need to do. Because if this man who can't even touch his son when he wants to is
Hey to all my listeners, thank you for taking the time to listen. Just wanted to kind of share some key points about this upcoming election, because it's very important that we go out, let our voices be heard, especially with everything going on in the world. And as you know, voting isn't just going to the polls on election day anymore. Options like early voting, mail-in voting, and ballot drop boxes are available to more voters and growing in popularity. How to Vote, a tool created by Democracy Works, breaks down the options your state offers to casting a ballot, empowering you to decide when and where to vote. Decide when and where your vote this year at howto.vote. Take care of yourself and please, please, please vote this year, because it's very important, and this will decide how life is going to be going forward.
I'm here, bro. We back.
yeah, yeah. So I think this after a while, just like, look, man, y'all talking for too long. Let me just
And listen.
So I don't know where we left off, but I was just so in the groove, and then it just got all jacked up.
Yeah.
So
I think you were talking. So where you was at, for you were at, you were talking about your son and your daughter. I mean, your son's mom, and where y'all at and stuff like that. 2 weeks,
yeah,
Fridays ago.
yeah. No, I was just saying, like, if if this person is able to have a normal, healthy relationship with somebody who isn't even able to be here the way they want to be here,
Mm-hmm.
then it should be easy for, the ones that are going through whatever they're going through with the father to put that aside and let the father be a father if they want to be a dad,
Right.
And whatever personal issues that they have deep down, you got to go out and find that and get that help yourself. It's one thing, like with our community, that it has to just be a normal, healthy thing.
Basing it off of, so it was like, what's good about this whole thing is that we have a lot of shared experience with this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we've been through similar things, and I've always told people, like, people pay more attention to the deadbeats. It's funny that everybody finds the most negative things and they pay attention to that one the most, but it's like, to acknowledge someone that's good, they only give me about a sentence. I'm not, and what's crazy is, like, it's almost like when you say, hey, we're here, and it's like, oh, okay, we see y'all, but back to this negativity. Like, back to, it's easier to slander someone who's not doing the right things. That's why I'm not going to spend too much time talking about my daughter's mom. She knows her faults.
No.
I know my faults. Everybody knows where they're
Mm-hmm.
going wrong with something, especially. So, like, I've always said this, right? At some point, you got to pay attention to, do I want to keep having a beef with somebody? Do I want to keep having a problem with somebody? This man has given me this type of life at one point. Like, I always say, like, especially, like, when she gets the guys or whatever that kick, whatever, whoever she's talking to at the moment, what I mean? Like, so, like, when you're talking to a man, like, now, the biggest thing men don't do is pay attention to, if they have a kid, what's their relationship like with the kid's father. More women pay attention to that, but the men don't.
Nope.
Jump right in there because it's like, it's whatever, but at the end of the day, you got to pay attention to something. If I'm getting hell, what's going to happen if something happens between y'all two? Let's say you have a kid with her. What's going to happen now You see how she's treating me. What's
Right.
ain't gonna happen to you? You know, like
The
I've
same
never.
the same thing because our mind is you know what we worry about. We worry about them buns, man. That's where our mind's at. But
Sure.
I always gotta tell people too, like that's temporarily, man. That sex is only going to get you for so far, and
Right.
you got to start thinking about other things. But by that time, it's already too late.
Yeah, because now you done fell in love with everything. You know, you I always say people love to look at the cake, but they don't know what's inside that cake. You know, like you can love the outside of that cake, but you're allergic to coconuts. And you ain't know, you just took a big slice of that cake and just tore it all up, but it's coconut all in this cake.
Yep.
Now it didn't hurt you. You know, like I'm being deep right now. I'm being everything. It's like I put it like this: me and you were men who were hurt by certain things that has happened over actions by the women that we chose to have in our lives. You know, like we were hurt by their actions the same way they were hurt by us. No one is. I'm not sitting back saying, "Hey, I'm perfect," because I'm not. I just know what I'm.
Never going to be.
You know, I know what I've went through with you. I know what my personal thing was with you. You know, your personal thing is your personal thing. Mine's is mine's. But like you, we had time to develop who we become now. You know, I've sat here and had that time to do this. You know, like I've had that time to sit back. I've gone through some serious depression. After me and my daughter's mother broke up, I went through some serious ass depression. She didn't know that. No, a lot of people don't know that. Maybe my brother, that's about it. But a lot of people don't know what I went through. I used to make music all the time. I've made music straight out of depression. You know, like just sitting back and looking at this little 3-year-old at the time, try to talk to me, try to do everything. And now she's just wondering, you know, why are we not here? Why are we here? And me having to explain it to a 3-year-old what's going on. And the only thing I can do is keep on watching Frozen with her, keep on making her laugh, keep on making her be happy to get her mind off of what the reality is.
And the older they get, the more woke they're going to be to their environment, and the relationship between you and her mother, so you've done a great job of building that barrier where she doesn't know those things and feel them. But you, at the end of the day, you can't control the other person, and at all. All you could do is just control your controllables.
Exactly. And that's and so I guess to just put this all in hindsight, as far as what me and you as fathers dealt with, you know, like I say this to say, like, you're married now, you're in a great pace, you're in a great space and stuff like that. You still deal with conflicts from old relationships, but the only thing we can do as fathers is keep moving forward. You know, like no matter what the dumb stuff that's going on, all we can do is move forward. And a lot of people, they don't see our real struggles. They just think, you know, when a woman talks, that's just it. She can have her whole side to whatever it is, and I get it. I understand it. Please do it. Get your grievances out. Air everything out. Maybe that'll help you understand me a little bit more once you say what you got to say. Because I understand you. I understand what you've gone through with me. You know, I understand everything that you don't like that I do, or whatever the case is. But it's not in spite. It's not of this. It's just that it means that I have to live my life too. You know, like I can't do what you want me to do. You've taken enough control away from me. Same thing with
Right.
yours. You know, they've taken enough control from you. It's like they want everything from you. It's like, stop with the other B words and then stop being bitter. Stop doing it. Because when you do that, you're hurting the child at the end of the day. I'm not one to create illusions. I'm not one to put cosmetics on problems. I put that shit sitting right there. If it's in my face, I need to get rid of it. I don't need to dress it up real quick and then let it sit there. Like, no, that needs to go out of my face, and that needs to go away. And I feel like that's what all of us men need to do. There's plenty of us out there. I feel like we need to unite and we need to talk. We need to get this stuff out of there. We need to make sure that we are, when it comes to the next line of men that needs to come up, that they don't do the same things. But at the end of the day, it's not
Nope.
all that is just that women. It's y'all too. It's the men too. We all play a factor in everything, and it's happening. It's more. It's in the black families. There's more white men on child support, but there's more black men in jail because of it. And
Right.
that's the same. And that's the thing we don't get and understand. I refuse to be a statistic. I refuse to be. You know, like
I stop even thinking about those things because every day there's a new
mm-hmm.
statistic that that you see, especially now with the police brutality and us getting killed. There's always, well, y'all killing each
Mm-hmm.
other, and what about the fathers who aren't taking care of their kids that are black? And this ain't coming from black people. These people that are throwing out these facts are white people because apparently they know us better
Oh
than
yeah.
ourselves.
Oh yeah.
So
You gotta know the toys. You gotta know the
I
toys
stopped.
playing with.
Yeah.
You gotta know those. When you gotta know the toys. I mean, if you see a Ken doll sitting over there and that Ken doll moves, why did that Ken doll move? That's how I look at it. We're toys to a lot of stuff like that. And you're sitting in a statistic already. We're already in. I don't even want to touch on that
Right.
subject because that's for a deeper conversation for another day. But as far as us as black
Listen.
men, I know what the deal is. I know that we don't have a lot of value to them. A lot of us don't have certain things or certain whatever's to put us in position to even have that type of power. You know what I mean? You can't touch Jay-Z. You can't touch Nas. You can't touch all these other guys and billionaires and stuff like that. You can't touch them because they have too much value to life. They do things to make sure they stay valuable.
Yeah.
They stay valuable or whatever the case is. They understand their communist ways. Like I said,
And it sucks that it's just that we have it's still a number on us. It's one of those feelings that make you just you have to be here because you have responsibilities, but it makes you want to be transparent at the same time, like you are invisible
I think,
as well.
I love that you said that. That's what's up. I like that you said that because, you know, I'm not. So gossip was usually pushed on women to say, yo, you women gossip, they complain, they do this, blah blah blah. That's wrong. That's 100% wrong. Because the
Very wrong.
moment you label a woman as that, you're expecting only women have these type of conversations. And knowing that men have these type of conversations too, we can get deep with things. We can get whatever. I can feel the way that I want to feel now. Like there isn't going to be no more gender things now. It's not about, hey, you're a woman, you just do this, and you're a man, you just do that. I don't believe in that stuff no more. At the end of the day, when you came into this world, you didn't came into this world with rules and a scroll to say, hey, woman, you do this. I didn't come into the world and say, hey, man, you do this. Expectancy is expectancy. You're expecting me to do certain things, just like I'm expecting you to do certain things. But what I'm not going to do is sit back and say, hey, as a man, I cannot be emotional. I can't sit with this other brother that I'm on the line with right now and not talk about what we need to talk about. Like that's not going to
Of
happen
course.
anymore. Isn't it going to be tea talk for women? It's going to be tea talk for men now. Like we all need to talk. We all need to get together, find the strongest people we can possibly find, and let's get this over and done with. And let's have these black people pay attention to things. Because at the end of the day, when I'm walking around and I'm talking to a 20-year-old that says, "Hey, I don't know what I ain't got nothing to live for, so I might as well just start shooting and killing people because I ain't got nothing. I need to be the most popular hood boy I can be." And I'm sitting there looking at that, and yes, it's stupidity, but it's very, very alarming because if you don't have care, you don't have care. And it's like when you have these mothers out here that has these men in their lives that don't take care of their child. A lot of the times, they go through the trauma, and they're trying to do both jobs, and they're trying to do this, and they're trying to do that. I'm done with hey, these men don't want to step up. I'm just so ready to create something. It ain't about big brothers. It ain't about this. It ain't about that. We need to create something that when these men don't step up, other men will. Not to be with the mom, but to be there for that child. Start early.
Yes. And that's very important, especially, with all the crime going on and young men getting killed in the city. I was saying like the other day, like if at this rate keeps up, it's not going to be any of us left to, to even, I mean, it'll be easier for them to gentrify the city than it already is now, so it's definitely one of those things where we have to find a way to step up and be more supportive for the absentee fathers that either they not here or they are mentally not here and not stepping up for the response. At the end of the day, once you make a child, I always say, like, once I became a father, like, it was no more me. There was no more free time for myself. I always knew that 24/7 I was a parent, even if my kids weren't with me. And I feel like that allowed me to cultivate the type of parenthood and type of fatherhood I wanted, and just set the tone with your children, because that's all you could do. I mean, that's really all you can do, is lay down your heart for them, being very transparent and letting them know you're still a human, but you're also their dad, and they have to respect that their relationship should be different than the relationship of what their mother thinks of their father. And once you have that, then I feel like it's totally different. And man, we could talk for days. I feel like we at like an hour now, so I'm gonna cut the episode just so I can get back to work and you can enjoy the rest of your day today after working last
I didn't
night.
got like some power in me that just was like, go get up and do something. It's like I want to be able to get the rest because I worked last night, and at this point for me, I'm so motivated. I might actually just get up and just go to the gym or something like that. I do want to say
Go
one
do
more
that,
thing
man.
before I get off it, and
Go ahead,
it
man.
was something that I was
No, you
thinking
good.
about. This is for everyone.
Take your time, young man.
Bro, let's make this powerful real quick. Women, period. If y'all listen to this, I'm only speaking from one half of it. I don't really talk generally. I just I really talk and try to be. I don't be direct. Like, I won't say just women. Hey, y'all do this, or I'm just speaking from my point of view because of my experience. Women that have fathers that are good fathers, and you having an issue with them. Let's put that out there. Let's put that out there that, hey, you might not like your child's father. If my daughter's mother hear this, if your child's mother hear this, everyone need to hear this particular word that I'm about to say right now. Don't give a care, and don't give a damn if you don't care what I got to say. Start this when you loved me. Tell that kid them stories about when you loved me. When I was an amazing person to you. Share stories that give them mentality to see their father beyond what their father are telling them. I don't know. I shouldn't tell my daughter giving my daughter images is one thing because he's hearing it coming from her dad's mouth. But what is some of the things that's been happening in the world when we sit back and we talk about guys like Christopher Columbus, who we know didn't do certain things or whatever the case, but when they tell stories about him, it gives you an image of what this person was. And it didn't come from the horse's mouth, it came from someone else's mouth. When they say give people their flowers when they're here, that means tell the stories of these people. Make these kings real life kings as they're great fathers. Make them kings. Stop putting us in bad lights to our children. Stop. Because they don't need to hear that. Whatever me and you got a problem with, that's me and your issue. Start giving these kids affirmation and real affirmation of what they need. They need to know the amazing person that their father is and was. There's nothing wrong with sharing a fun story about their father. If you got to do it every day, that's cool. Don't sit back and put a person that's not their father in their face to tell them to give them that story, because at the end of the day, they can't do what I can do. They can't be who I am. Give these kids a story about their fathers so they can know. Don't wait till I'm gone to start telling me good things about me. Do it while
Wow.
I'm done.
Wow, man. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we unpacked a lot today. And it's crazy given the fact this is our first conversation actually talking other than a
Right,
person,
right.
in-person setting. And it's crazy because prior to this, we've only had 2 conversations with each other. Like, I mean, they've
Right.
been multiple in the same setting, but like, you get what I'm saying? So this is our actual first phone conversation. So it's just huge that we're able to come together, form like Voltron, and able to have a very healthy conversation about how hard it
Mm-hmm.
is to be a Black father. And usually at the end of my shows, I always do like a takeaway, because I try to always
Mm-hmm.
gain some type of information from the guests I have to help instill, in my future endeavors as a father and as a Black person on this planet. You know, and the key thing I believe I took away from our talk today was that the end part was crucial, where you're mentioned about stop putting images in your child's head, regardless if the father's good or bad. Let your child have their
Mm-hmm.
own image of their parent,
Yep.
mother or father. You know, I even though my dad and my mom got divorced when
Yeah.
I don't remember them married, but I know that whatever they
Mm-hmm.
went through
That's just
was between them. My mom didn't say bad shit about my dad. And even when I can see on my dad's face, it was written on his face, he still didn't, say anything to me that was going to negate how I felt about my mom. I had to
right. Right.
experience it for myself, and I feel like that's huge in the development of your healthy development, like of your child. Um, so it's a lot we talked about today. And, Mike, again, I really appreciate you, taking the time out to, share your journey with me today and for my listeners, because it's not us that we're not the only ones that have these issues or have had these issues or had these trials that we had to go through by ourselves to feel like we've gotten
Right.
some type of achievement,
Right.
that we had to pat our own self on the back for, so unless, you have anything else that you want to add, no, I think we're,
Yeah,
this is going to
I
be
don't
the
really
end of
have
our
nothing
episode
really to
today.
add. I will say this: the one thing I love about podcasts is that you got to listen. You can't tell me nothing. There is no, hey, you did this wrong, and now I got to respond to you, and I'm losing my thought pattern. That thing got to be heard. You got everything we just talked about. Me and you just
Right.
talked about some important and heavy stuff. All you got to do is listen. Well, later on,
Mm-hmm.
if you have something to say,
That's it.
send a message. You know, DM, do it
Mm-hmm.
all. Like, but right now, you're gonna hear what these Black fathers have to say. Like either you're gonna take heed to it or you're gonna have a problem with it. But at the end of the day, this is our truth. This is what we deal with on a
Right.
daily basis. This is something that needs to be talked about, regardless on what scale it is. I don't care if it's a small scale. I don't care if it's a huge scale. Whatever scale it is on, it's there. It's on that scale and needs to be paid attention to, because it ain't us. It ain't just me and you. There's millions
Right.
of us. It ain't thousands. There's millions of us that go through it on an everyday basis. They make movies about it. So I'll leave it as that.
All right, bro. Man, I appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, and
No
thanks for being on
problem, man. We're gonna
Melanin
do it
Day
again.
today,
No
man. It
worries.
really meant a lot.
Definitely. Okay.
Yes, sir. Take care of yourself and
You do the
continue
same,
being the
brother.
amazing
Tell
father
your
that
wife.
you are, man.
All right.
All right, bro.